Join our incredible moms who have mastered the art of balancing motherhood in today's episode of We Time Convo.
My name is Debbie.
This is Liza.
Moms sharing inspiring stories, practical tips, and a few hilarious anecdotes. And it all begins now.
For joining us on We Time Convo. We are here this morning on a special different recording day, which is Saturday morning. And I had to bring Violet with me because, all our schedules are very hectic. We're all three very busy working moms. So this is the date and the time that worked for us for this week. And we took a little bit of break last week for the holiday. But you know what I noticed, Debbie? That usually when we record on Sundays, most of the time I'm hungover. So I am curious to see what I sound like, because I didn't drink last night, but I'm just curious to see what my sober podcast voice sounds like.
I'd be interested too.
So talking about the Labor Day weekend, I want to hear about your Labor Day weekend. What did you guys do?
Oh gosh, what did I do? Here's a problem.
Didn't you guys go camping or not? Was that not the day?
Actually, it was the week before Labor Day. The weekend before Labor Day, we actually did go camping. Actually, it was really nice. We do an annual camping trip.
This is with all our mom friends.
Yes,
and I never go because I don't do camping.
Camping's not your thing.
No.
So it was really nice. Yeah. We only did one night just because, again, as you mentioned, our schedules are pretty crazy. And so we, instead of doing 2 nights, we only did one night because Vanessa had a football game that she was cheering on. But it was the first time that Peter went camping.
Ever? In his life?
Exactly. And so that was...
Did he like it?
How old is he? Yeah.
He is in his early, moving on to his mid-30s. So he's never been camping before.
So when you asked him, was he hesitant or was he just like, yeah, let's do it?
He was hesitant. I basically said, here's an experience. Let's go. We love camping. I had invested in camping gear a few years back. And so I try to make it a point to at least use our camping gear at least once a year. So this was my once a year opportunity, and I nudged him along. We were actually supposed to go last year, but we actually got sick. And so we had to back out very last minute. So this year, another opportunity, we ended up doing that. And I have to say, he was a little bit, I don't know what the word is. He didn't necessarily embrace it, but he did kind of.
Just not used to it.
No.
He went along with it.
He went along with it. I think he didn't realize. So camping is great because there's obviously tons of food. There's not much that you're doing, right? You're eating, you're hanging out by the campfire, you're chit-chatting. And, in our group, we drink. So he definitely experienced that whole environment. And I think he didn't realize a hangover at a campsite is definitely a lot different than having a hangover at home.
That's why I don't go.
So the next morning, he was definitely hurting. And the next morning was us leaving. So as you know, camping is you set up and you take down when you're ready to leave. So I don't think he was prepared.
It's not like a hotel.
Exactly. He was definitely not prepared for the effort involved in taking down equipment. So that, I think, was probably the toughest part for him. And in our relationship, he usually drives. So the fact that I drove home tells you how bad he was hurting.
So question is, would he do it again? Like, would he do it every year? Because it's a yearly thing.
It definitely isn't the one thing that he's like looking forward to, but I think he realizes it's one of the things that Vanessa and I look forward to. So he's just going to have to suck it up and figure out how to get a good balance between enjoying the drinking aspect and eating aspect and hanging around aspect to the effort of like setting up and taking things down.
Well, that's married life. It's compromise, right?
It is.
You have to want to do things that you love to do and vice versa.
Well, that's the other thing. It's football season. So as you said, compromise. I like football, but I'm not in love with football. But now that it's football season, it's all about football right now. So that is the compromise. I'm going to, take out that card as he thinks about like, do we need to go camping or should we go camping or why don't you and Vanessa go camping? I want it to be kind of more of a family thing. So he's stuck going every year.
Well, and I think that's what I love about a lot of people tend to think that they want to find a partner that's exactly like themselves. But for me, I wouldn't want that because I want to learn from somebody. I want to experience something new that like you. I don't like sports. I don't watch it at all. But if I were to meet someone that really loved watching sports, I would sit there, just show me, just tell me like the plays and what this and that. Like I just never been with somebody that had that patience with me to show me. So
Yeah, well, I'm definitely learning much more about football than I thought I would. But, again, I like the learning aspect of it. And it's fun.
Yeah.
I do have to say it is fun. But that's what we did in regards to the 3-day weekend. Honestly, I cannot even. He worked. So more than likely, we probably, I can't even think that far.
But you thought the week before.
I know, but I don't think there was anything that we did in Labor Day that really like stands out for me.
Yeah.
But how about you? I mean, did you do anything?
Same. I just took that time, 3-day weekend to I spent a lot of individual time with Ava and Violet, which was really nice. I couldn't remember a time where I've just always been busy on the weekends. So it was just really nice to be home. My house was jacked up. Like I neglected my housework. So just, did mom things. So, and it was nice to have that Monday.
Yes. Well, they were talking, I'm sure you've heard there's always this talk about having a 3-day weekend versus, and having a 4-day work week, pushing hours to 10 hours instead of the 8 in order to accommodate the 40-hour work week. And I think that's a great idea.
Absolutely. Because if you're working 8 hours, what's 2 more hours?
Exactly. To get an extra day off, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I do think that extra day really helps out because
I think you would just have happier employees, to be honest with you.
Hopefully at some point in our lifetime that'll somehow pass.
Right.
Not for you, Liza, because it will mean changing the
whole school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But anyways,
so I actually was on social media the other day and found out that our local water park, which is called Raging Waters, if you live in San Jose, you should know what Raging Waters is. I hear that they are going to close down after this year.
Yes. This year their season is already closed. And so they made an announcement essentially that they're not reopening it next year. So I think based on, because I saw the same article, and based on the comments and feedback that we got, a lot of people were really bummed about that. It's not surprising because when I think about Raging Waters, it was a kind of a rite of passage for a lot of us Bay Area kids because that was the, one field trip event. I remember back in elementary school where you're looking forward to and then you would go to.
Sorry. If you can hear little Miss Violet in the background, she's over here keeping herself busy. So don't mind her.
Yeah. So, how often did you go to Raging Waters?
So, I actually wasn't growing up. I wasn't a Raging Waters gal. I don't really know how to swim. I don't swim well. I've always been like scared of the water. I always was like a Great America gal. Like I remember, I think at one point we all had passes maybe years ago and we would all meet up during the summer and just park ourselves, like maybe illegally drink on the grass while the kids just went on the rides. But it did kind of make me sad because it's just like a landmark, right? It's just always there on Capitol Expressway. You can see Raging Waters and
well, I lived across the street from it.
oh, that's right. You did.
So it'll be, I don't know if they made an announcement of what they're going to do with like what exactly they're going to turn it into.
They haven't. So I actually looked up because okay. Raging Waters has been open for 38 years. The 23-acre theme park originally opened its doors in 1985 and housed 14 water slides and a 350,000-gallon wave pool. Without Raging Waters, San Jose is left with no large-scale water park. The land is currently owned by the city. And according to San Jose City Council member Domingo Candelas, whose district includes Raging Waters, the park's lease will set to expire in March of 2025. Fortunately, the city of San Jose was already beginning the process of soliciting new ideas and programs at the facility. So,
Still TBD then.
more housing.
Oh,
Yeah, we don't need that. Like, when they build housing here, I'm like, who the fuck is affording like these houses? It's insane. But anyway, so did you growing up, were you like a Raging Waters hangout person?
I wouldn't say I was a Raging Waters hangout person, but it definitely is something, a place that is embedded just because, like I said, I live right across the street. It was one of the locations that we looked forward to during the school year because, there was a field trip typically to Raging Waters that we would be looking forward to. And I haven't, but I have a lot of friends that actually their first job was at Raging Waters.
Yeah. David, Violet's dad, that was his first job, was a lifeguard there. So.
Yeah. So, and to your point, I kind of went back to Raging Waters when I had Vanessa because we would, like you said, that was one place where we would all kind of get our seasons passes. It was convenient. Although Great America was another amusement park that, if you live anywhere in San Jose, that was like the park that you'd go to. But Raging Waters is easy because it was local. We didn't have to jump on a freeway or anything like that. And, just meeting up. And as you said, we would meet up and the kids would hang out for a couple hours and then we would head back home. So I don't even think I told Vanessa that they're closing yet.
Oh, would she be bummed about it?
I don't know if she'd be bummed, but I think she'd be a little sad because, like I said, there's some memories there. But I think more so like it concerns me a little bit because we have so many like memories as growing up. Like, what are our kids are going to have, right? Like in this next generation, what type of experiences, places that they're going to have, that'll be interesting.
And I think the big reason why Great America is also, Raging Waters is also closing is, now we have Great America, there's Gilroy Gardens. They opened up their own water parks within their parks. So it's like, okay, why go to Raging Waters when we can go ride rides at Great America and then go to the water park at, Great America. So I think that took a lot of business away from Raging Waters as well. But our kids could experience Great America until because from what I believe, I think they announced, I want to say a couple of years ago, that they sold Great America and that they were going to do something with that
like
land, but it was going to be another 10 years before they actually. But then now I'm also hearing that they're spending a lot of money on redoing Great America. So who knows? Maybe they'll just change management and call it something else. But I hope they don't take it away because, the next closest place would be what? Magic Mountain or something, or
yeah,
Six Flags.
Yeah. Six Flags Magic Mountain. There's also they did open up that Wolf Lodge.
Oh, Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah, they did the water park, but that's a couple hours away from us too.
Yeah. So that does make me sad because Great America, Raging Waters is a big part of my teenage years. And Eastridge Mall right across the way. So yeah, I was pretty bummed, but I kind of saw it coming because I never saw it. I would drive by and I'm like, why aren't they open? They would keep closing days, right? Yeah.
Well, I think what was a bummer is they announced it after they closed their season versus maybe announcing it as going to be their last. And I think they might have had an opportunity for people to actually visit one last time.
Right.
So, but
Well, it sits on Lake Cunningham Park, so I'm wondering if they're going to just extend the park or put campsites on there or something. I don't know. But
well, it'd be
we'll see.
interesting. Yeah. So I look forward to hearing more news about what they're going to do with that land.
Yeah. RIP Raging Waters.